leaned out in some areas where he needed to lean out. We're excited. This is his last year, so he's put a lot of extra time in. Really trying to catch up from the reps he missed with my assistant Austin Herrick. Took him under his wing this summer. Spent a lot of extra time with him, going through the playbook and outside of our normal hours that we were working with those guys, and I think it's going to pay off for him.
What did you like about the springs for Speedy Thomas and then for DJ Black, two guys you brought in from the January portal?
Yeah, I like Speedy. Talking about him first, I think he's emerged as one of the actual leaders of the group. I know he's a young kid, but the way he plays, his physicality has helped him emerge as being one of the guys that other guys look up to, because he's small, built small in stature, but plays big. He's become a little bit more of a vocal leader for us, and his overall knowledge of the offense, run, pass, cover schemes, has really advanced him as a top-notch guy for us, and he will be very productive, as a receiver, and also possibly giving him some carries, possibly at the running back spot, because of his versatility coming from Charlotte. He did a lot of that stuff, so Coach Frost is going to utilize him in various different ways. DJ Black, his speed, he's probably one of the guys that we hadn't had that speed since Bashard Perriman. Very raw when he first got here. He's worked extremely hard on really understanding how to get in and out of his breaks. One of the things that we worked on this spring, and then some of the time we're working with some OTAs, is to really get him to concentrate a little bit more, staying low, coming out of his break, tempoing it down just a little bit, because he was so fast at the top of everything. It was hard for him to get in and out of his breaks, and also being more consistent in catching the football. His job was, after every OTA in the summer, he had to catch 50 balls, off the Judd's machine, and then also had to catch, 10 to 15 to 20 hand throws, just working on different things there with him. He's a little bit more comfortable with catching the football.
And then one last Chris DeMarco, kind of the new guy from Chattanooga. When you evaluate him on film, what stood out to you immediately? How is he, if you met him in person now, seen him through the summer, what does maybe that translate to what you see on film?
Well, he was always watching the film. He was one guy that caught my eye, throughout the portal. We went after some other guys that maybe had a little bit more elite speed, but he's been a pleasant surprise coming in. He's very intelligent. Watching him, in the portal, watching his film, I knew he could catch the football, and he was really good at route running. I questioned his speed, but he's fast enough. One of the things that's going to give us a valuable asset with him is he came in within 2 weeks and understood all the formation, understood all the motion sets in our base passing game at X, F, and Z, 3 different positions. So very intelligent. He's going to give us those flexibility to where I can plug him in if somebody goes down and move him into another spot, and we won't miss a beat.
Good to see you.
All right, good to see you.
DJ Black, it seems like to throw out Rashad Perriman as a potential comparison. I mean, you don't do that lightly. Are you expecting a lot from DJ? I know he's done a lot at this previous school, but is that a guy you're really looking forward to step up and be, one of the leaders of this unit?
Yeah, I am. I mean, he's an older guy. He's played a little bit at a little bit smaller school, but he's explosive. His lower body, he may not look like it, but he's strong. He's the strongest receiver in the unit. Power cleans, very explosive. His measurables are off the charts, and everything he does in the weight room. It's just the confidence in translating it all to the football field, getting more experience with him. But he runs like Perriman. Perriman has some inconsistencies with catching the football. That's gonna happen. I know he's gonna drop some easy ones here and there, but we're gonna just try to prevent him to understand and erase that and move on to the next play. But I'm expecting him to be, to see him do a lot of different things explosively for us in the offensive scheme this year.
I know you probably going to answer this, but Wade and Charles, I know, was one of the freshmen that looked like he was kind of maybe emerging in spring for a young guy who was out there with the first team a lot. Just kind of, what have you seen early from a guy like Wade, and that will give him a chance to play right away?
His maturity when he first stepped into the practice here, and also when we start working in January. His maturity came in with a maturity aspect, meaning that he wanted to be on the field, and nothing has changed there. He's over here extra. He's meeting with me extra, my assistant and the offensive coordinator, and it showed in the spring. He put in the extra time, and he continued to do it throughout the summer. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to do throughout training camp. I told those guys before we broke for the coaches on vacation that. It's going to be an open competition, and right now, Marcus may be starting ahead of Wade, but Wade is coming. So throughout the training camp, I'm going to juggle some guys around and maybe move Wade into the starting spot, or maybe move Wade into the third spot. So and vice versa with all the different guys, and just kind of test their water and test their oil and see how those guys respond to that.
One thing I wanted to ask all the coaches if I had the opportunity was, obviously you're a UCF guy. What was your favorite moment as a UCF player? Is there, when you go back and look on your career, was there a game or a season or a moment? What kind of stands out as a player?
That's a good question. It's been so many great moments here. Our first really bowl win. I take a lot of pride in out there because it was a position. I was coaching the defensive backs when we beat Georgia in that bowl game, and our first win there. It's a little bit of, kind of like out of the box for me as being a receiver and a receivers coach, and then flipping over and coaching the secondary and then winning that game. Those type things, tells me and encourages other people that, hey, when you make a change in something, you go forward and dive into it, and good things do happen when you make changes. So that one kind of sticks out, and then obviously all the other major wins stick out to me. But here's the new year. Coach Walters and I talk a lot. It's a new assignment. I call it a new assignment. It's not a job. It's a new assignment this year in 2025, and I got a whole totally different group, and really excited about these guys, and I'm going to pour all into them and make those guys the best they can be.
How much buy-in have you seen from these new guys, Coach?
A lot of buy-in. Those guys, when you get guys over extra.